Facebook, but you are here tonight, and I honor you for that. And I'll tell you why. See, 9 years ago, February, particularly February of 2010, I could say that I was exactly where you are tonight. Not definitely this exact same venue and that exact same seat where you're sitting on, but I could remember at that time I was attending a stock market seminar, probably my first one. And just like you, at that time, I was trying to understand what it was all about and how the stock market would work. In fact, I'll be honest with you, at that time, I was still doubtful. I was still thinking, talaga bang yayaman ako dito? Talaga bang magbabago ang buhay ko dito? Because little did I know at that time, 9 years ago, little did I know the impact that the stock market would make in my life. Because I'll tell you, that it is through the stock market that I was able, for one, to be able to pay for my own wedding. Now, for those of you who got wed just recently, probably in the last 5 years, you know that it's not cheap. Yes? Para magpakasal, right? I could also say that it was through the stock market that my wife and I get to do some travel. It was also through the stock market that I was able to start up my own business. And I could also say that it was through the stock market that my wife and I now have the stability to start our own family. And I'm sharing you that tonight, not so much to brag or whatsoever, but to simply encourage you, to get you excited for what is ahead, for what your future could be. Because I'll tell you, believe me, that your decision for being here tonight, you coming in here, paying the investment fee to be learning and sitting here tonight, will definitely impact your financial future possibly. You believe that? Yes? Tingnan mo nga yung katabi mo, mukha bang yayaman yan? Okay? May potential ba yung yaman? Alright? In fact, let's do this. Let's do this. Can I ask you, can I give you permission to be stalker mode tonight? Okay? Can you just look at the person beside you? Look at them intently. Sige na. Look at them from from top to bottom. Look at them. Try to remember as much as you can about your seatmate. Sige, okay lang kahit weird. Sige, try mo lang.
Dato naman daan, ma'am. Dili na ka mo dato. Magpakadato. Mas mo dato pag yun. Ako, ma'am.
Because I'll tell you.
Dato na daan. Mas mo dato pag yun.
These very people that you're sitting with, these very people that you're rubbing shoulders with, rubbing elbows with, these are the very people na manlilibre sa atin for dinner.
Wow! Woo! Wala ba may kaon?
Because 10, 20 years from now, these very people that you're sitting with tonight, on this night, will be millionaires. And they'll be so genuine.
Perfect!
Share with you what they have.
Kalami ba?
Alam mo yung number nila ngayon pa lang.
Maujod.
10, 20 years from now, magkikita tayo rin, mag-reunion tayo, and all of you would have grown financially abundant. Yes?
Yes.
Right. So tonight you will learn on how you can build your wealth the easy way so that you can build the future that you've always dreamed of. And if Brother Bo gave you some introduction already on the stock market, on investing, we're going to go a little bit deeper. We're going to go through some of the details para alam niyo pinapasukan niyo, so that you understand really how this works and how it can work for you. So are you with me?
Yes.
Alright, good. So again, my name is Mike Piñas. As our MC mentioned, I'm an investment trader for both COL Financial and the Truly Rich Club. So I am part of both organizations. And also I'm an entrepreneur. I own a startup recording label that produces worship music, along with that. And also by God's grand design, I'm also in ministry. As mentioned earlier, I also lead the feast in Feast Alabang. So I can say that I am part of these three worlds. And I wear these three hats. The world of wealth, the world of God's Word, and the world of worship. And that's why I really believe this. Deep in my heart, I really believe this. That God loves us so much that He wants to bless each and every area of our lives, including our finances. You believe that?
Yes.
That God cares even for our finances. In fact, to us, it's such a big deal. To Him, it is as well. And He wants to bless you. He wants to prosper you. Why? So that you and I would become a rich blessing to others. And that, my friends, is the ultimate purpose of wealth. That's the reason why we're here. Brother Bo probably mentioned it earlier already. The reason why we want to grow rich, the reason why we want to prosper, is not just for ourselves, but so that we can richly bless the people around us, our families, our friends, the poor, the community around us. Yes? Alright. So, you pretty much know already why you're here. I mean, you may not know it specifically, but deep down in your heart, alam niyo kung bakit kayo pumunta dito sa seminar na to. You know that at the very start of the year, you have goals, you have plans, and probably one of them is to grow financially this year, to reach this level of income. And maybe for some of you, you're here because you're thinking of retirement. Maybe for some of you, you're thinking, I need to provide better for my family and to establish a good and bright future for them. Maybe you're here because you want to be able to maybe one day start up your own business or travel. Or maybe just simply provide for your family, especially for your children's tuition fee. Now, I'm sure napapansin nyo, you notice that every year, tumataas na yan. Diba? For those of you who are parents, you know what I'm talking about. So for whatever reason you are here, that you want to invest, you want to grow your money, you want to be abundant, those, I believe, are the reasons of why you want to do this. Everybody say want?
Want.
These are your wants, why you want to invest. But I want to start out tonight and no longer having to discuss why you want to invest because you know that well already. But I want to discuss why you would need to invest. Everybody say need?
Need.
Why you need to invest? And it's simple. Alright? Pag pupunta ka ng palengke, pupunta ka ng supermarket, magpapagas ka ng kotse, what do you notice?
Tax.
Tataka tayo parati na ang taas-taas ng presyo ng bilihin. That over time, the prices of the goods and services that we buy increase. Right? It's called inflation. That's right. Right? It's here. Inflation measures the rise in the cost of goods at its rate of which our purchasing power falls if our money, if our savings is not invested. And we always hear older people say, alam mo, nung panahon namin, nung araw, ganito lang yan. Ngayon, ganito na. Diba? Pertaining to a particular price of a product or service then and comparing to a much higher price of where it is now. Tuloy na pagkakahalataan kung ilang taon na sila, di ba? Tapos mga tito or mga tita. But really, inflation, if I can somehow illustrate this to you tonight and give you an idea of how this really impacts us and why this is the reason why we need to invest, I'll share it to you this way. Sino sa inyo kumakain ng burger? Taas ang kamay. Burger. Eh, kahit anong burger. Minute burger, any burger. Okay? Yeah. There's this one famous burger, and it's pretty much widely known all over the world, but sadly here in the Philippines, it's not as popular. And it's by McDonald's. It's called the Big Mac. You've heard of the burger, yes? Diba? Hindi kayo masyadong react. So alam mo, hindi masyadong kinakain ito ng Pinoy kasi nga mahilig tayo sa kanin. Right? But the Big Mac. Now, there's such a thing. If you look through the internet, you can type it, Google it out, called the Big Mac Index. And the Big Mac Index is simply a tool that you can find on the internet that measures the price of a Big Mac in different parts of the world, in different cities, throughout the years. So I look back at the data, particularly for the Philippines, and you will see something, well, for some of you surprising, but for some of you who understands this is pretty much what's happening, right? I'll show you. Back in 2003, your Big Mac, if you remember by then, or then at that time, was just at 65 pesos. Okay? 2005, went up to 75 pesos. 2010, which is just 9 years ago, it went up to 108. Today, magkano na nga ba? You know, I just checked online yesterday, and I saw that today, our Big Mac is already at 200 pesos. So we're pretty much along the way. You see, if you look at the historical yearly growth of its price, you will see an average, you will see a trend, and pretty much it goes up by 7.6% each year, tucking in inflation of about 4 or 5%. So we can somehow forecast or project magkano yung Big Mac natin years from now. In fact, when I did this study, alright, I think we did this study right at about 2010, and I've been using this slide for 9 years now, so I've been doing this seminar, and it's true, we're right on track. 108, today it's 200. 2020, which is next year, malapit na yung 200 sa 225. And by 2030, as a forecast, I mean, just think about that, for that burger that has bread in the middle, which I do not understand why they have to do, by then, it will be close to 500 pesos. Mahal o mahal? Mahal! Parang taas ng pressure by that time. But that's the reality of inflation, okay, on price, the effect of inflation on price over the years. And think about this. Are you with me? Think about this. That's just for a burger. Think about for other expenses, for food, shelter, clothing, all of the things that we spend for all of these things over time. This is how it's going to look like. The question is our money growing at the same rate? Because if not, then we cannot go in. We've got to do something about that. And so inflation, that's the reality. It has the capacity to deteriorate our hard-earned money, our hard-earned savings. That if we don't do anything with it over time, it loses its value. Yung pinaghihirapan mong pera sa trabaho mo, sa negosyo mo, over time, pag hindi mo inayos at hindi mo in-invest, hindi mo sinip, mawawala yan. It loses its value naturally. Without you doing anything because of inflation. Are you getting what I'm saying? So we've got to do something. We've got to put our hard-earned money into something that will protect us from inflation. In fact, we want to be able to put in specific our money into something, okay, that will protect us from inflation, that will give us greater than what inflation takes away at 4 or 5% annually. Because that's pretty much an average, okay, through the years of what inflation takes away. In fact, last year it went up as high as 6%. So get this, okay, listen. Sa bangko, for your savings account, how much do you make in a year? How many percent? How many? 1%, right? Or even less than that, right? In fact, these days, makahanap ka ng 1% or even more. Bihira yun. So let's say it's 1%. So if you leave your money in the bank for 1 year, right, not doing anything with it, it will grow by 1%. Okay? Now, yung 1% na yun, when inflation kicks in at 4 or 5%, it eats it all up. It negates it. Bottom line is, if you simply leave your money in the bank, nothing happens to your money. In fact, it actually loses its value. And that's why, again, we need to put our money, well, I apologize for those of you who are working for banks, but you know this. The bank won't do that for you. Protect you from inflation, no. That's why you have to put your money elsewhere where it can grow enough for you to be able to protect yourself from inflation and to be able to grow your wealth over time. Because the only time, right, listen, the only time that you can really say that your money is growing is if you're beating this number right here. Masasabi lang natin na lumalaki at lumalago yung pera natin if the investment that we're making gives you more than 4 or 5%. Because if not, then that's just to protect you from inflation. So real growth happens beyond that 4 or 5%. So you might want to think, you might want to consider the investments that you have right now, if there are any, and if they're meeting actually beyond that number. And so, why we need to invest is one, to protect ourselves from inflation. And the second reason of why people come to the stock market is just like you have a potential plan, you have a prospect to be able to grow and build your wealth over time for the long term. And so, a place where you can do those two things well, protect yourself from inflation and grow your money greater than what inflation takes away, that place is what you call the stock market. Now, for some of you, pag naririnig niyo yung stock market, baka iniisip na niyo, ay, parang sugal yan. Ay, naku, nakakapaso yun, nakakatakot yun, mahirap intindihin yan. Or worse, some people would say, naku, yung stock market, pamayaman lang yan. I promise you tonight, that as we discuss this, we'll discuss it in a very simple manner that everyone can grasp, everyone can understand, and eventually act on. So that we can really see how this can be useful for us in building and growing our wealth over time. So are you still with me? Yes?
Yes.
Alright. So the stock market, and I won't say this again, I want to listen. The stock market is a place where you and I, right, ordinary men and women, are given the opportunity to partner with other people's successful businesses. Right? In other words, the stock market is a place where ordinary individuals like you and me are given that opportunity to partner with other people's successful, profitable, growing, and stable businesses. So what does that mean? When you invest your money into a company, in return for that investment, you will get shares or shares of stock. Everybody says shares. Everybody say shares.
Shares.
Good. Easy mo lang kayo. You get shares of stock when you invest. And those shares are assets representing ownership to that business. May pag-aari sa kumpanyang yun. So if you're holding shares of that particular company, that automatically makes you a stockholder, but that actually means that you become a part owner, a co-owner of that business. Nagiging ka-negosyo ka nung iba't ibang may-ari ng negosyong yun. So now because you own that business, at least partly, you partly own this business. If this business makes money, kung kumita yung kumpanyang yun, at may-ari ka ng part ng kumpanyang yun, dapat ba kumikita ka din? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes! Because you own part of that business. And so, whatever that business makes, you have a piece of the pie of what they're making because you're co-owner. You're part owner of that company. It's as if they're the ones doing the work for you, and because you're a co-owner, you're simply standing to receive and benefit from their hard work. So as they grow and expand and make more money, you're part of that growth. You're part of that expansion. You're part of that money making. Why? Because you are a part owner and co-owner of that business. So the stock market simply gives us, ordinary individuals, ordinary men and women, that opportunity to actually partly own great and successful businesses in the Philippines so that we can participate in their growth, participate in their ability to make money. So the stock market is a place where one can invest in publicly owned or PSE listed companies. And so one invests into a company to participate in its ability to earn and grow profits. Right? Now, okay, let me go forward. There you go. Let me give you an example for this. Sino sa inyo kumakain ng Chicken Joy? Taas sa kamay? Chicken Joy, okay? Kanina McDo, wala masyado. Chicken Joy, yes, paborito natin yan, di ba? Kahit hindi healthy, di ba? Gusto natin yan. And it's really just something that Filipinos love. It's like comfort food for us. Ay, saan binibili yung Chicken Joy? Jollibee, right? Jollibee. One time, try lang nyo to subukan nyo lang. Go to one Jollibee restaurant. Busy nyo ng konti para talaga mapaniwala sila. Walk up to the branch manager and then ask him or her, Sir, ma'am, how much capital, max capital, how much capital do I need to be able to build my own Jollibee franchise restaurant? These days, magkano na nga ba? 50 million, 40 million, I guess depende sa lokasyon, di ba? Let's say here in Cebu, let's say, hypothetically, it's 30 million. Malaking pera pa rin yun. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes, right? Malaking pera yan. So that would mean that we need to have 30 million to be part of this money-making growing institution called Jollibee. We need 30 million to make money alongside its successful owners. To partly own Jollibee, in that way, we need how much?
30
million. And I guess the reason why we're all here is we don't have that kind of money. Yes?
Yes.
Baka iba sa inyo meron na, di ba? Sabi mo ba nandito ka pa? Diba? But all of us mostly would not have that kind of cash, that kind of money. But what the stock market gives us is an opportunity to do just that, to become part owners and co-owners of great companies like Jollibee, just like Mega World, just like SM, and Ayala, and all of these great other businesses in the Philippines with just a minimum investment of 3,000 pesos. Okay? So 3 million is against 3,000. And with your 3,000 pesos, you can already buy shares of those stocks, okay? And again, as those shares, those companies grow and expand and become a success, you're part of that growth, you're part of the expansion, and you're part of that success. Okay? Now, you're probably wondering at this point, okay, I get that mind, we invest in companies, they do well, we do well, and all of that, but how do we make that money? Paano nga ba talaga? Paano tayo kumikita sa stock market? Okay? So here's how it goes. You make money through two ways. Price appreciation, everybody say price appreciation.
Price appreciation.
And earning dividends. Everybody say earning dividends.
Earning dividends.
Before I go into this, I want to somehow shed some light in one area of this whole discussion first. Because what I've discussed with you so far is what is beneficial for us. Kung ano nakukuha natin dito lahat. What we get from all of this, right, as investors. But some of you are wondering probably, and if I don't explain this, your idea of the stock market will be incomplete. Right? You're probably wondering, ba't ito ginagawa ng mga kumpanya? What's beneficial for businesses? Why do they do this? Why do companies come to the stock market? So we'll try to answer that question first. Is that okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. Who among you here are employees? Raise your hand proud. Okay? Very good. Okay? Who among you here are entrepreneurs? Raise your hand. Who among you would like to one day have your own business and be an entrepreneur? Raise your hand. Okay, good. All right. So for you to be able to start out a business, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, you know this already, you need capital, you need cash. Now let's say you already seeded in that cash, right? You put it into the business is working, it's flourishing, it's growing, you're making good money. But let's say after about 3, 4, 5 years, you see now the potential to expand, to grow bigger, to offer more products, more services, right? More branches, or maybe better technology for your business. So for you to be able to fuel that expansion, you need another set of cash. You need another set of capital, right? Now for companies, whether they're small, medium, or large, they have two ways to be able to source out that cash. One way is that they will go to the bank, and they will load money from that bank and use that money to fuel their expansion. Question. Are you listening? Yes. In that scenario, will the company get that cash for free? Yes or no? No. Right? Why? Because they will have to pay what? Interest for the money that they borrowed for their expansion. So that's one way. The second way that banks can source out money or funds or capital for their expansion is that instead of going to the bank, they will go to the public. They will go to the stock market, to the public, to all of us, and this is what they're going to say. They're saying, I'm selling you ownership to my company. You can become a part owner of my company. You simply have to buy this much shares or as much as you would want, and whatever you give me as money for buying those shares, for buying ownership in my company, that money I will use for my expansion. Now, in that second scenario, did the company get their cash for free? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, they did. All the company needed to do was to sell the part of themselves in place for cash, and they got free cash. No interest to pay, they got free cash to infuse into their business for them to be able to fuel that expansion. So to answer our question, why do companies come to the stock market? They come to the stock market to source out free cash. They come to the stock market to raise capital for their business. That's why the very first time a company comes to the stock market, it's called an IPO. You probably heard of it. It's called a Initial Public Offering. Right? And then they would probably come back and say years later for a follow-on offering. That's what they would call it when they come back after the IPO. So now, okay, it becomes a win-win situation. Follow me along with this, okay? Listen carefully. It becomes a win-win situation between the company and the investor when it's a good, dynamic, profitable business. And the investor, right, invests, buys its shares. So now, the investor gives that money to the company because it's on an IPO, first time siya pupunta sa stock market, gaining cash, right, raising capital, and uses that money from the investor to fuel its expansion. Now, the investor buys it at a certain price. Are you following? At a certain price. Now, let's say this company just does well, right? Comes out with more products that people buy, more services people engage in. They make so much money, and so because it's doing well, more people now would like to invest and be part of that company, become part owners. So there's now greater demand in its shares. So, for those of you who know your economics well, if there's a greater demand into something, okay, there will be an increase in price. Tataas ang presyo. Limited number of shares, there's greater demand. Tumaas ang presyo. Now, at this point, where the company's market price of its stock is much higher, the investor who bought the shares down here below, if this person chooses to sell his or her shares at this price, kumikita ba siya, yes or no? Yes. That person makes money, and eventually they sell and they cash in or make that money. So it becomes a win-win. Why? Because in the beginning, this company is trying to raise cash. They're able to raise that cash for their expansion, and later on for the investor, they're able to make that money when the price of that stock goes up in a much greater time, long term. So what I've illustrated to you is pretty much what we call price appreciation. Can we say that again?
Price appreciation.
So, pakigising na yung tabi mo, sabihin mo, yayaman tayo dito, huwag ka magugulog, huy. Ha? Okay, alam ko, gabi na. Okay? But I'll tell you, this is worth it being here than going in the club or going to a restaurant whatsoever, because this will impact your future. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we're good. So price appreciation is simply the increase of a market price of a stock that you bought previously at a lower price. And just for example, let's say you bought a stock 6 months ago and it was priced at 3 pesos. So 3 pesos is your cost. Yun yung binayaran mo para mabili mo yung shares of that company at that time. So 3 pesos times the number of shares that you bought. On a per share basis, 3 pesos is your cost. Ulit, di ba? Para mas klaro. Okay? 3 pesos. Now let's say from 6 months ago up to today, that company just did so well. Again, it made so much money, lessened its expenses, so on net income niya, it ballooned, it went up. So the performance of that stock from 3 pesos, it went up to about, let's say, 7 pesos per share. How much?
7.
7. Now, us who bought it at 3, okay, that's your cost. 7 now is your current market price. If we choose to sell the stocks that we bought at 3 pesos and sell it now where it's at 7, so 7 minus 3 equals
4.
4 pesos times the number of shares that you bought. That amount, that value is now the amount that you made in the stock market through price appreciation. Clear?
Clear.
Simple, di ba? Yes? Okay. That's the first way that you make money in the stock market. The second way is through earning dividends. See, earning dividends is simply the chunk of extra profits made by the business distributed back to its shareholders. Tayo yun. Kung bumili ka ng stock na yun, that means shareholder ka. So, whenever these companies give out cash dividends, maybe once or twice a year, they're giving that out and you're simply receiving free cash. It's a freebie being given to you. Why? It's an incentive for you holding on to their stock, becoming a part owner of that company. In fact, kung iisipin mo, kung yung kumpanya yun, you're a part owner of that at may extra profits sila, ay talaga naman na meron ka dapat share of those extra profits. Yes? And that's distributed back to you through cash dividends. Clear?
Clear.
Alright, let's move along. Humihina na yung yes eh. Okay, clear? Yes. Okay, good. Sige. Kaya ba natin? Okay. Now, you're wondering, bakit nga ba Mike sa stock market? Bakit naman di pwede ibang investment? Well, I'll share you now the superior track record of investing in the stock market. So you see here in this graph, investing in stocks right here on your left, okay, is compared against T-bills and inflation. Now, T-bills here represent every other investment instrument out there. Why? T-bills are government debt instruments. When you lend your money to the government, they will give you a certain interest rate or interest return for that investment. It's called the T-bill rate. And the T-bill rate is more or less the benchmark or the basis of every other investment opportunity out there. In other words, whatever those guys are offering as a rate of return, other investment opportunities other than the stock market, is more or less this. It's more or less the same rate of return being offered to you here in the T-bills. So it represents pretty much what's available out there, right? Other than stocks. And then we compare it against inflation. Now you notice that whether it's a 5-year average return represented by the gray bar or a 10-year average return represented by the yellow bar, that investing in stocks or investing in the stock market clearly outpaces and outperforms every other investment instrument out there, giving you a good run, a good protection against inflation. Basically what I'm saying here is that across every asset class, it is still the stock market that provides the most in returns. Right? In fact, it's written here that history has proven that investing in quality stocks can provide greater returns than most instruments, again giving you a good run over inflation. Okay. Now, Brother Bo mentioned this earlier, and I want to reiterate it again. The key to all of this, the key to your success in the stock market is this. The key is, can we say it? Consistency. Mga kaibigan, bali wala po ito lahat. Okay, this will all be of waste. Your time tonight, all that you've learned, if you don't do it regularly, if you don't make it a habit to save and invest regularly or consistently. You see, because doing this on just a one-time thing, marami kasi sa atin, oh, sige, bagong taon, this is my goal, ganyan, gagawin natin, nandito sa seminar, gagawin nyo isang beses, tas wala na. Okay? My job here tonight is to make sure that you know what you're doing so that you can do it consistently. Napansin niyo yun, sino sa inyo may gym membership, nasa naman? Wala sa inyo nag-workout? Okay, body lang. Okay, so the rest wala. Mapapansin naman nyo to, okay, try nyo lang minsan, okay? Punta lang sa isang gym ng January. Pag nakita nyo, ang daming tao, ang daming nag-sign up, kasi ang daming New Year's resolution. Papayat, ang sexy ako nitong 2019. Amen?
Amen.
Okay, sana totoo po yan. Okay? So January, ang daming tao sa gym. Pero check nyo pag February, konti na yan. Okay? March, mas lalong konti. April, yung mga nag-sign up nung January, kahit full year yung binayaran nila, hindi na nila pupunta. Okay? I pray, I hope that what you're trying out, what you're testing out, what you're beginning tonight